from one of the recent podcasts, the 1776 flag, and
Yeah.
then the LED sign, and that's really cool. Wow.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I want to shout it out again because the dude is such a good woodworker. Hateful Hank on is his Instagram name, and I actually posted. I don't know if I did a post on it or a story thing. It might be gone on my Instagram, but anyway, I met him a few years ago when we first started our channel, and I didn't know he was a viewer of our channel. His thing popped up in my feed where it showed him making one of those flags, and I said, "Hey, do you sell those?" And he's like, "Yep." I said, "I want to buy one." I said, "I have a." We just started this YouTube channel. We were brand new, and so anyway, he's like, "Oh, I follow your channel." I was like, "What? You do?" He's like, "Yeah, man." He goes, I'll make you the flag." I think it was like $200 or something, and then he sent that LED thing with it as a gift.
Yeah,
It was
that's
awesome,
super
man.
cool. I
Yeah.
can't believe that's burnt. Like it's not
Uh-huh.
painted. That's
He doesn't
really
use any
impressive.
stains or any kind of it's all natural and burns the wood like that. So it's pretty cool. So yeah.
Yeah.
And a shout out to anyone in the past, any of our viewers that have made us really cool stuff like fan mail. We've had people make 3D printed stuff and uh yeah, man, really
Wow.
this is what when I started, that's the kind of I guess thing that really uh, got me involved in the community was those kind of responses, like the comments, and then people like, hey, do you have a thing where we can send fan mail? I'm like, yeah, just send it to my mailbox. I don't get a PO box. I don't care if somebody knows where I live. I really don't. Like it's already out there somewhere anyway. So if somebody could, uh, just look up my name, you can find where somebody lives. Like it's not hard. It's like, yeah, just send it here. So that's what we did,
You
and people
get
sent
a lot
letters
of
and
fan mail, or
what's that?
oh, that's cool. You get a decent amount of fan mail, like
Oh, I don't anymore. I used to.
oh,
The first 2 years we did our channel, we would get fan mail, probably because we got that question, and then we would talk about it on some of the videos and stuff. So people would send us stuff, and I haven't talked about it in so long. Nobody probably knows. So, yeah,
oh,
anyone out there, speaking of, if you have a sticker or a patch or a team or something you want me to promote you, send me some fan mail, and I'll give you a shout out. That'd be cool. I'll read the little like they would send us little letters and stuff, little notes. I'd read them on the videos. It was pretty cool.
that's
And
pretty cool. Yeah.
speaking of a cool background, man, you got a whole gaming room behind you, dude. This is awesome.
Oh yeah, this is the upstairs room. It's in the farthest corner of the house. We have a basketball hoop, a ping pong table, and that turns into a pool table and an air hockey table.
Dude,
And
I love air
then
hockey.
I don't know if I can turn my camera around. So I have my computer, and then this is sitting behind my monitor. So
Mm-hmm. You got is
yeah,
that a gaming computer?
yes, I built this about a year ago.
Oh, okay. Nice,
I
dude.
like
What?
building things and like tinkering with stuff. I used to do it with like old technology. Well, my dad's into IT, so I get a
Uh,
lot of that. And then I built this computer, and then I've teched a lot of airsoft guns too.
awesome. Well, welcome,
Yeah.
dudes. Let's go right into it. Give a background, introduce yourself, and then start. We'll go into all your airsoft stuff and all your. I want to know the deets on your PC too, because
Okay.
yeah, awesome.
Yeah, my name is Johnson Seiler. I live in North Carolina in the Charlotte area. And sadly, there's no Speedsofter indoor fields in North Carolina. It's sad. And
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I normally go by either Speedsofter J or Airsofter J. That was my YouTube, but I think it got like deleted or something. I don't remember. So creating a new YouTube soon based on like teching and other things like that.
Nice. And then, how long you been doing airsoft?
My friend from California, that's been my friend since I was around like 6 months old, moved to North Carolina and he was really into Speedsoft and he went up to all the e-bike fields
Uh,
and went to Texas and was on a whole league and he kind of got me into airsoft along with some of my neighbors and he's the one that first taught me how to like take apart my airsoft gun and that was around the end of 2021. So I got my first airsoft gun the end of Christmas 2021.
oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, one of the guys I'm talking with tomorrow, he's an older guy, like closer to my age, I guess, and he just got into airsoft like a couple months ago. So
Wow.
I love talking with people that are like, and then the podcast that comes out tomorrow, this guy that he lives in the States now, but he grew up in Siberia, Russia. He um, he has only been in airsoft since September of this past year. So I love talking to new airsofters, man. It's cool, you know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
My first airsoft gun was. Actually, do you mind if I go get it? It's in my
No,
room.
yeah, yeah, get it, dude.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Awesome. And while he's gone, I'm gonna actually give a shout out to the sponsors. Perfect time for that. We have Skirmish. If you guys don't know about Skirmish, go to skirmish.net. Skirmish. You can see it on the screen. Anyone that's listening to the audio instead of watching, it's Skirmish, MESH, and Jackal Tactical. Go to jacktac.com to find out more about them. I just did a podcast with Paul, the owner, and they have a couple of stores up in PA, and then they also have Otherworld Milsim, which is their production company where they put on Milsim events. One of which is next weekend. So if you're in that area, up in the PA area, go check out jacktac.com. You can find, I think you click on Milsim on the tab there, and you can find information about the upcoming events. So I was giving a shout out to the sponsors because I forgot to do it when we started. I thought it was a perfect time to do it. So
Yeah,
have you ever heard of Skirmish? The
I have actually.
Okay.
I heard about them a while ago when I was looking at just nearby fields, and I actually was looking at Ballahack Airsoft in, I think it's in Virginia or
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, and they mentioned it, and I'm like, what is this? And
Yeah.
I looked it up, and it's super cool. And then seeing it on your podcast and
Yeah.
listening to it, I listened to the most recent video where the guy explains how he like built his field and then also installed that, and then I had to go back and listen to that video where you talk with the owner
Oh yeah.
of that. That was really interesting.
Brandon. Yeah. Yeah. So the one, I swear it's like for the past 2 weeks, a lot of people I've talked with, like a handful in a row, were field owners that were using Skirmish on the field. And Brandon texted me the other day and was like, "Dang, dude, it sounds like your whole channel turned into promotion for Skirmish." I'm like, I didn't mean for it to. It's just the people I talked with right in a row were using it for their field, and it is getting more traction now because Ballahack just picked it up and used it at one of their bigger events. So a lot more people are starting to learn about it. And then 6 millimeter Mandalorian used it at his event in November, and that had 300 people, something like that. So
Oh wow.
yeah. Anyway, so shout out to the sponsors. Appreciate you guys so much, and hope we get a lot of new people for you. So you got, what did you go and get now? Is this your
So this
first
is my
one, or is this
first
the one you
airsoft gun.
still use?
It is retired per se,
Okay.
for a couple of reasons, but it was this. I got it off of Evike. It is a High Kappa 2011. It is the AW Customs Ace Competitor pistol. It also shoots full auto. There's no trigger in it currently, as
Gotcha.
it's another part that's
Oh
gone.
yeah, and the thumb
And I
safety
also bought
or grip safety.
a drum mag for the
Woo!
pistol. It's
Bro.
huge. It weighs so much, but it's super cool.
It's so
And the next,
yeah, I've seen those. I've actually held one, a pistol with a drum mag on it, and it's and it's like, bro, because when you have a rifle and you got two hands on it, and
right.
it's kind of balanced, right, with the mag in the middle, but the pistol, it's like, oh, if
Yeah,
it's
it's pretty
full.
heavy. It actually cracked my mag release, and I had to get a couple
Mm,
new ones.
yep.
And I'm actually getting back into building these high kappa pistols, trying to build like a aftermarket only type deal.
Yeah.
And this will also fit on them, so that will look very funny on the my
The new one.
golden purple pistol. Yes,
Now, when you got that one there, did it come with all those colors on it?
yes, it did.
That's
It's
cool.
like a stock slash custom pistol, so
Yeah.
they sell it for like a little bit more expensive than the normal pistol, but it comes with like this is already has some upgrades in it and also has all the aesthetic features that are pretty cool.
Cool, man. Well, I want to tell everyone too that you reached out to me through our Discord, and
Oh yeah.
I wanted to tell people that because I appreciate you doing that, man. I think a lot of people maybe I don't know why, but maybe they're afraid to reach out, and say, "Hey, I want to be on the podcast." But I've talked to a handful of people that have said that to me while we're talking, like, "Oh, I was gonna reach out to you and ask if I could be on, but I didn't want to because I didn't really know how. I didn't want to bother you." And I just want to tell everybody, listen, I'm not. I'm very approachable. I promise you, if you reach out, I'll be like, yeah, let's do it, man. I'm not too busy. I do have a lot of stuff, a lot of podcasts scheduled, but I always make room, always make time, and we'll just work it out. So I appreciate you doing that, man, for real.
Yeah, no problem. I actually felt like that before, but then when I was listening to the episode 300, that intro that you did about the like how you're so grateful to have like 300 episodes and you're trying to get 400 by the end of the year, which I
Hmm.
think is super cool. And also that you could have new airsofters, people who haven't been doing it for a while, whether you're involved in the airsoft community or just starting out, and that really inspired me to look up you guys' Discord, get on there, and
Hit
reach
me up.
out.
Nice, dude. That is awesome. It's so good to hear. When you have feedback, when you put something out there like that, and if you've done a YouTube channel or made some videos and posted any kind of posts on social media or anything, when you do something creative and you want feedback, but you don't want to ask for feedback because you want honest feedback, right? So it's like that's kind of how I felt. Like I don't want to ask for feedback because then I feel like people feel a little obligated to tell me nice things. I don't want to hear the nice things. I do. It's nice. It's cool. But I want to hear the honest things. And so when somebody reaches out or somebody comments or whatever, it's way better. So I do try to remember to say some of these things on every other video or something like that. Like, hey, if you're out there and you feel like, oh, I don't know enough about airsoft, that's usually what it is that holds people back. For like, if I ask them to be on and they say, I don't know really, I'm kind of nervous about it because I don't really know anything. I'm like, I don't know anything. I didn't even play airsoft. Okay, I teched some of these guns that they had only because out of necessity, right? When we first started, you know how it is. Almost all these airsofters know how it is. It's like you don't have an extra $400 to go buy a new one when something breaks. So you start ripping it apart and see if you can fix it.
Right.
Watching videos. Um, but I don't have a lot of experience. And also, this podcast is not all just about, like, it's about a little bit about airsoft, but it's mostly about the people. And I do want to say something about that real quick because one of the things I noticed about a lot of different podcasts, especially when it comes to like paintball and airsoft podcasts. One of the things that I didn't want to do was have me and the same other person on, like two or three people, like co-hosts or whatever, and just us, and try to figure out some kind of topic to talk about. because you're going to run out of topics real fast. But guess what? I'm not going to run out of new stories when I have new people on. And this is what I really love doing in real life anyway, is meeting new people. And so I really wanted to focus on that. And the way I felt when I came into this community and where I was at mentally and emotionally, this thing helped me a ton. There's so many people out here on our channel that followed our channel, and like I said, we're commenting stuff that helped me more than they realize, mentally, emotionally, and I want to give back to that. So I want to have so many new people on, like all these new people. I want to hear their stories. I want to hear how they got in, even if you don't have a lot of experience. You know, it's you still have, even if you don't have a lot of experience in paintball or airsoft, you have experience in life, and that's important. You know, that's the story that sometimes makes connections with somebody that's going through something, and it helps them.
Yeah, I love what you're doing here.
Thanks, man.
The podcast, yeah, great.
So let's go into your story. So you said you got into it from a friend from California. Um, were you did you meet online? Is that how you knew him from Cali, or
No, he actually lived less than a mile away. I used to live in California
mm,
until around 2018, and
what
so
part?
I lived there, Bay Area, around an
Oh,
hour inland of San Francisco,
okay.
and I met his younger brother, who's 2 years younger than him, at a baby group when I was like 7 months old.
That's
So
wild.
we've like
Okay.
grown up together and been friends for a really long time.
So did you
And
go to the
so
e-bike store up in that area?
I was not actually in Airsoft, sadly, before I
Oh,
moved.
okay.
I moved here when I was turning 11.
Okay, okay.
So didn't get a chance. I wish I did. That place is incredible.
That's what I heard. Well, I've had her on a couple times. Call sign Blue. She used to live up. She lives in Texas. Her and her fiance live in Texas now, but they used to live up in that area. She worked at that Evic store.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway,
That's pretty cool.
yeah,
There's a ton of guns. I've seen like the videos of the walkthroughs
dude,
and like the thing on Google Maps.
it's like
Well,
$250,000 worth of airsoft stuff in there. It's
oh
insane.
my.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I got an Airsoft in the end of 2021 and was pretty into it during the time of 2022 and going to the field with some friends. But then during 2023, I wasn't really into it and kind of took a break until the end. And I am back at it in 2024. I mean, I did go to the field a couple times in 2023,
Yeah,
but it wasn't like every other month, or it was like 3 times the year. So
sure. That's what my boys did. If we wouldn't have been doing the channel, that's pretty much all they would have done for airsoft. Like they went to bigger events, they
yeah,
like 3 4 times a year, But it was we were doing like 3 videos a week in the beginning, and so I was always like, "All right, what are we filming right now? What are we filming tomorrow? What are we filming?" Like, bro, we already filmed two. No, it's not enough. Let's go. So they were doing airsoft like every day, for like two
yeah,
years,
yeah,
and even if it was just here, they're like, "Oh, can we just not film today?" I'm like, "No, I need more content. Let's go." And they were like, "Dude." And now it's like they haven't played airsoft in like 2 years, so I think they got burned out. I don't know.
yeah. If you hear any weird noises, it is my cat. My cat is very crazy,
That's fine.
and so might jump up here at some point.
It's wouldn't be the first time.
So my current gun that I use is this.
Awesome.
It is it's an AEG. It's not HPA, although I did lose the motor screw, and
Oh, what?
so I had to use this little TV connector
That
type
screws in
thing.
there?
It's the only thing at the house that fit the threads.
That's insane, bro. That's really innovative. Look at you.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
looking through my entire garage because I I lost it like the day before I was supposed to go to the field.
Yeah.
And so it might not look like much. It might not look like any of the crazy Speedsoft guns, but this thing is worth well over $1,000. All the internals, no
Yeah.
externals. I basically spent no money on the externals other than maybe this peck box and then my little tracer right here.
I mean, it looks cool,
But
but so you definitely care about performance over aesthetics.
definitely, that's part of the thing of me being mostly a tech. I've teched more airsoft guns than I've played with and spent more time teching than I've spent playing. So
Gotcha. That's
I
usually how it is, man, because it's not like anytime you open some of these things up, it's not a 2 minute project, bro.
no, it's not.
it's it's gonna take a minute, okay?
Definitely. So the very first time I started teching this, I it took me around 2 years between birthdays, Christmases. I was around 13, 14 years old to get the money I needed to build this.
Gotcha.
I was working in the neighborhood as like taking care of people's pets and things, and I earned
Nice.
pretty good money from that, but
Okay.
it took a long time still.
Yeah.
And I first started my friend from California. He's the one that first taught me how to take some of this stuff apart.
Mm.
He's built a couple guns, and then I started upgrading it, and I put a trigger unit in the gun, and I didn't run the wires correctly,
Mm.
and so when I went to go shoot, the motor gear ripped up one of the wires, and it was ruined. And that's not normally covered by warranty,
Mm-hmm.
but the people at Gate, shout out to Gate Airsoft. Those people are crazy good at making what they make. They create like the best trigger units, and like I've heard their new HPA engines are pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, we've heard
And
of so many good things about Gate. What is it? They have a Gate Titan, Gate
Gate Titan,
Aster.
that's what I have in here. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have the Gate Titan. They um they gave me a warranty replacement, even though it wasn't fully covered by warranty, which was great. And I was able to. I spent a lot more time researching than I did actually installing it, so that I would learn not to do that again. And I
Good.
put it together, and over time, I've just been watching videos, and every time I watch a video that contradicts something that I did earlier, or I learn a new thing that I might want to get, I just open it up and just fix it or adjust. And this gun, I could say, is almost perfectly tuned from just all the videos that I've watched. It's just not my own knowledge, it's mostly my own experience and also just learning from the experience of others.
Absolutely, man.
So,
That's the best way to learn. That is how we learn, you know?
yes.
For real.
Either by failure, which I definitely learned here, or by experience with others.
Oh, that
So,
is, yeah, for sure. I think that is the best way to learn is or I guess it's the most efficient way to learn is by others' experiences,
yes.
by listening to others. But a lot of times we go, nah, I can do it my own, and then we mess it up, and we're like,
Yeah.
shit,
And
okay,
that's where you gain the most knowledge.
it
You
is,
don't gain as much knowledge by, per se, watching a video, whereas doing it yourself, making mistake, trial and error.
yeah,
But with airsoft, trial and error can be pretty expensive.
it
So
gets
learning
expensive,
from
man.
others, definitely
It's
definitely
the
a good
best
thing.
way, the most efficient, but you're right. The lesson won't really stick with you until you do it, until you mess it up. And you might have to watch the video like 2 or 3 times to like remember the next step. But if you do it yourself
Yeah.
and you mess it up, like shit, okay, I won't do that thing again. So awesome. So
I've
you,
gotten most of the knowledge from building this gun from either watching videos, although with airsoft with these AEGM4s, videos of teching are few and far between. So most of the time, I just get the knowledge from either people on like Airsoft Society forum. That's a great place to go for any questions,
Yeah.
or just doing it myself and taking it apart, putting it back together, just to see what each part does and how it does it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, dude. So you used that at your? Oh, you don't have an indoor field. You guys play outside at your field, your
Do
local one?
not, yes,
Okay.
at the field that I work at,
Hmm.
Lake Norman Paintball and Airsoft.
Yeah.
They have a speedball field mainly for paintball,
Mm-hmm.
but it can be used for like competition play per se, like speed QB type
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But it's not like an actual indoor field
Right.
where it's much bigger. It's just like a 1v1 or 3v3.
So it's outdoor.
So
It has the big inflatables, and it's got the net
it,
around the whole
it
field.
uses it does have a net around the whole field, but uses corrugated pipe
Oh yeah,
as the
the barriers.
barriers.
Yeah.
Yes, they're light and easy to move in case people want to move them,
Yep.
and it allows both airsoft and paintball to use because sometimes the paintball barriers cost a lot of money and they cost even more money if you want to also use them with airsoft.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to save money, and also if they want to change it up, they just need to buy some more pipe and some screws and
Post
some
them up.
wood, and they got whatever size, shape barriers they want. So
Nice.
pretty cool.
That is cool.
I've worked there as a ref for around 2 weeks. I
Oh,
just got
okay.
back from work like an hour ago. So
Right. Well, I remember when you and I were texting through our Discord. You were like, I have to see what time I get off because sometimes it might run later or something like
yes,
that. So, which I totally understand.
thank
Retail,
you.
yeah, work in retail. Sometimes you don't know because you might have customers in there at the very last minute while you're
Yes.
locking the door, and they're still kind of looking around and talking and stuff. When we first moved here from Cleveland, Ohio to South Carolina back in 2007, the first 3 years I lived here, I was GameStop manager. So I worked in a video game store.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, and when a big game release comes out, well, maybe not so much anymore, but back then in 2007, we still, it wasn't, actually, I don't think they were even offering downloads on your consoles yet. You still
Hmm.
had to go get an actual disc. Now, the DLC was offered downloadable, but to buy the
Okay.
game, buy the game. So it was very busy in the store. And there was a lot of times when GTA 4 came out, when Halo 3 came out, when World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King came out, all these big games, and then God of War 3 came out when PS3 was out. Bro, there's people in there. We're trying to close on a Sunday at 6, and they're like, and what about this? And what about this? I'm like, what about it's time to go? Okay, come on.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So you live in South Carolina now?
Yeah, we're in, I'm not far from you, man, from Charlotte. Actually, I have friends that live around Lake Norman. We've been to Lake Norman numerous times, like that area.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Not to the lake, but around the area. What's the Mooresville? I have friends that
That's
live
where I
in.
live.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it? Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful town. A lot of NASCAR drivers live around Mooresville. It's like NASCAR
Definitely.
capital, as far as a lot of the drivers live on Lake Norman and have big boats out there. And Lake Norman is beautiful. But so
Yeah.
I'm only like an hour from you,
Oh wow.
from Lake Norman. Yeah. So I'm at the very top upper half of South Carolina. It's called Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
That's
So,
cool.
matter of fact, I was just in North Carolina the week and a half ago. I was driving somebody out there from Chesney, South Carolina, to some little podunk town in North Carolina called Spindale. Dropping them off out there. Yep.
That's cool. My friend sent me the information for this. Let me see if I can find it. There is this indoor field opening up in South Carolina. The March 23rd. It's called AirsoftSouthCarolina.com is their website,
Yep.
and they're located in Florence, South Carolina.
Yeah.
So,
That's so that podcast came out yesterday. Matter of fact.
okay.
Yeah, so I started releasing, well, this is the first time I've done it. I released two podcasts yesterday on a Saturday. So, Airsoft Columbia years ago was an indoor field in Columbia, South Carolina, which is about um, an hour and a half due south of where I'm at. So get on 385 to 26 straight down to Columbia, south, and it was pretty much right off the freeway. Well, they got shut down or they closed because of the zoning laws changed in the county. So as a town grows, as a county grows in population, they get a little more strict with the zoning laws. So they'll have zoning law or zoning meetings in the local government, and they figure out, okay, this section is residential only. We can't build any factories there, or something like that. Or this section is going to be, any new construction, they have to do underground wiring, electric, sidewalks, and full sewage, right? Instead of like ditches and septic tanks. So those zoning laws is kind of what makes up that kind of stuff. Well, when they change a code, or when they change the zoning laws, your codes change for the buildings that are in that vicinity. So that's what happened with them. And they had inspectors come through and say, your building is this big, whatever size it was. That means it could hold this many people at any given time, which means you have to have 3 bathrooms instead of 1. And so you're going to have to, you either close or get the 3 bathrooms. So it's not even a safety issue. It's a bathroom thing. So even if and they never had, so the building could hold 300 people, let's say, or, 200 people, whatever it was. But they never had 200 people in there playing Airsoft. Like it was,
Right,
40,
yeah.
30, 50, right? Like the max would be 50 people in that building at any one time. So bathrooms were never an issue. They don't care. You got to follow this code. You have to have 3 bathrooms in here. So it would have cost them a lot to do all the plumbing, get the bathrooms installed, and then have it re-inspected, blah, blah, blah. So they closed up, and they were planning on opening up somewhere else. Well, Airsoft, South Carolina is where they found a new field in a new area with a new building that's already up to code and everything. And it used to be an old Harley Davidson showroom, sales lot. So it's big. It's like 3 times the size of the other one that they had. So they have a lot more room. It looks badass. We actually do a little bit of a walkthrough from one of their videos. So the grand opening is March 23rd, like you said, which is next Saturday, or no, 2 Saturdays. Yeah, 2 Saturdays from now. And because next weekend's St. Patty's Day. So it's the following Saturday. And they have a discount. If you watch this podcast and you use the link that I posted on that video, you get 15% off entry for that grand opening. Okay. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to that field because Florence is about 2.5 hours from me, about 2 hours. And so it's probably about 3 hours from you where you're at.
Okay.
So it's not terrible. But I mean, that's a long drive if you're going to do it, for just go down there and play for a few hours and drive back. It's 6 hours round trip. So it is kind of a lot, but, hopefully you'll get an indoor field up in your area soon.
Hopefully, yeah. Surprised that there's none, and if you want to do any tournament stuff, I have to go all the way to Nashville. Or Florida, but those are about equally as far. Nashville's around 7.5 hours for me, depending on traffic, and Florida is almost the same.
12 hours probably, yeah. Well, it depends on if you're going to Miami. Yeah. Yeah. So you guys definitely need an indoor field in your area.
Yes, yes, we do. A lot of people like to do the indoor stuff, but they just can't. So they just start doing the outdoor stuff,
Yeah.
and then you get is that the cat? Oh, no, it's not. And then they just get into the outdoor stuff, and then they're hooked on that and don't really care about the indoor field. But
Hmm.
there's a lot of people lately because a lot of people from California has been moving to North Carolina,
Uh,
and they want the indoor field.
yeah, they're used to that. Uh huh. There's
Definitely,
so many fields in California, man. Especially when you
it
get down
really
around
is.
LA and then even like south of that, it's just so many fields down there. Now,
Sure.
how is you? So you said you guys' field that you work at. Um, what do they have? Like the storefront and then the field out there, and then do they just have the one field that they use for paintball and airsoft, or they have a couple different
So
ones?
they have a couple of different fields. They have a
Okay,
city field, which is
nice.
it's mostly concrete piping corners. It's like what you would use to for a giant pipe,
Right.
make like a curve. They have a bunch of those, and then they have a school bus. It's all rusted, and then a couple of cars in there.
That's
And
cool.
that's like a mid-range to close-range field. Then they have the speedball field, which mostly is paintball, but sometimes airsofters can go in there if they
Gotcha.
want to do like a 1v1 or something.
Now, have you ever
Then they
played paintball?
have I have once,
Okay.
and it was kind of fun, but I was pretty young
Mm.
and didn't really enjoy it as much.
No, because it freaking
I think I
hurts.
was 12, yes.
It hurts
Although
like hell.
I've been hit by more paintballs lately than I have when I was 12 because I'm reffing paintball also.
Uh huh.
They'll run in front of me and I'll just get sprayed with paintballs too.
Oh God, that's crazy. Okay, so you said they have another field besides the concrete one as well?
Yes, they have a concrete one, they have the speedball field, they have a small woods, which is maybe a football field or two football field size woods. And then they have a pretty big woods area that's probably a couple acres. And then they have a mountain that one team starts at the bottom, one team starts at the other side,
Yeah.
and then they first one to get to the top wins because once you get to the top, it's pretty easy
Yeah.
to pick off the people on the bottom. And then they have a bigger field that used to have a house, and then someone burned it down with a smoke grenade on accident, so
Oh
no more
shit.
house. Yeah, there
Oh
was a
no.
basement.
No more pyro. Okay.
Yeah, well, they still allow pyro on the field. It's just that person got banned.
Oh, okay.
It was a paintballer too. They weren't even playing airsoft, and you're not really supposed to have grenades in paintball.
No. Yeah, that's yeah, usually paintballers don't use pyro. That's
No,
wild.
they don't. So there's a good amount of fields, and they have normal paintball, they have airsoft, and they have low impact paintball for like 6 to 10 year olds.
Oh, okay. So is that the gel ball or gel blasters?
No, it's a paintball. It's like a actual paintball gun. It just shoots a little bit slower, and it's a smaller paintball.
Whoa.
So
I've
it's
never
it's
heard of
still
this.
paintball. I don't remember what kind of caliber it is. You could probably just go on the Lake Norman Paintball and Airsoft website, and
I'm on there
they
right
have
now
like the
actually
whole
because I'm
information of it.
yeah, I didn't know that they had that many fields, bro. That's huge. If they have that
Yeah,
many parts of the outdoor, um, no, I didn't know they made a smaller caliber. So
so it's like a
paintballs are
point
68,
five.
right? 68
Yeah,
caliber.
I think this might be a point five or
So 50. That's
50. Yeah.
wild. Paintball. Okay. I wonder if they have an Instagram. Let me see. Because I don't see too many pictures on here. They've got a YouTube.
Most of their pictures are on their Google Maps, but the thing is, they're pretty
Oh,
dated. So,
okay,
like the
okay.
speedball field doesn't look like that anymore. It used to be
Uh,
called can ball because it was only made out of 55-gallon oil drums. And
right.
now it's made out of the pipe. So
Oh, okay, okay. That's cool. That's what I started out on. I started out one of the fields we went to when I was playing paintball in the mid to late '90s was it had the corrugated pipe, and
Yep.
then it had cans. So it was all the 55 gallon
Okay.
drums and the pipes. Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you'd run up to the cans if it was like, and this is in Northeast Ohio, so every other day it rains. It's hard to find a nice day up there, and you have them, but they're rare. Like it's gonna rain. It rains a lot, which makes the grass green, but it sucks when you're trying to go out and do something. So you would slide up against these or run into these barrels, and the barrels are sealed. They got the top on and everything, but you know how the lid sits down in a little, so the rainwater sits on there and bakes in the sun for 2 days, and it turns green. And then you run up on it and slam into it with your shoulder, and it spills down your face mask, and it just smells like rotten water.
Oh wow.
It's terrible. Oh yeah, good
Yeah, a
times.
lot of the time, actually today while I was reffing, these like the regular paintballers, they like slide into the barricades and everything. I think they're just doing it for show. I don't think they actually like they hit it pretty hard. They
Uh
knocked
huh.
over a couple of them, and I had to run out and pick them up because they'll just fall over, and then people will like cut themselves on it or
Oh
like hide
God.
behind it. But it's only like a foot above the ground because
Hmm.
normally it's tall. But yeah, I mean it's a nice field and it's outdoor, but it's a lot of walking when you're a ref.
Sure.
But I
Especially on a
like
bigger
it. It's
field.
fun.
Okay.
Get paid, I think, $10 an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and it's my first actual job, so that's pretty
Nice.
cool.
Very nice. Yeah, man. What
Thank
a
you.
what a cool thing. Like when somebody's into airsoft or paintball and then they get to work in that area or in that field. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So now, what kind of plans do you have for this year? Are there certain gear you want, certain guns you want? What kind of stuff?
Yes. So I'm actually hoping on building like a high kappa 2011 pistol. Um, could I do a screen share or have like a render of it?
Absolutely.
Is it
Ooh,
screen sharing?
nice. Do you like the
So
purple and
this
gold?
is, I do like the purple and
It looks
gold.
nice.
So that's the pistol that I'm going to create. I'm changing the grip. They didn't um go on LA Kappa Customs, which is the website
Oh yeah.
that you buy these parts off of.
Uh huh.
They sometimes have the parts for the render, and sometimes they don't.
Gotcha.
But for this one, they did. Um, and then this is the other side of the pistol. So that's it. Just has the purple mag release and purple slide lock,
Looks
and it's
awesome.
supposed to be pretty short.
Yeah, it looks short.
Um, so
Four
this
inch.
is it's 4.3.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So this entire build, that's what I'm mostly planning on using most of the money that I get from work on,
Nice.
and the entire thing costs around like $900.
Woo.
But that also includes the HPA kit and the adapter,
Oh,
which
okay.
costs 230. So it's really just under 700, which isn't bad because some people spend like $1,300 on just the pistol.
Mm-hmm.
And it has all the performance. Now it doesn't have the frame that makes it look really nice or some of those things, but the frame costs $230 itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just gonna go for function right now, and then eventually go for the
The looks,
aesthetics.
yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, you can always dress it up
yeah,
later. As long
definitely.
as you have one that is functional, because when you're out there and you're trying to hit a target and it's in the heat of the moment, the last thing you want is this thing like spitting air because it's not feeding right. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Dude, that
yes.
sucks so
Or
bad.
because you like wanted the frames, you cheap down on some parts. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, don't
exactly.
do that.
It really,
Um,
especially when you have the shot, like you got the drop on somebody, you got a shot, and then you go to do it, and then you get killed because it's like in a
It
video
doesn't
game,
work,
right? When you're in
right?
COD and you peek around the corner, you forgot to reload. You're like, shit.
Hmm.
You shot one round, and
Yeah.
then you start reloading, and somebody turns around and shoots you. Like, okay, dang it.
Yes. Yes. So, planning on building that this summer, but other than that, I don't have very much other gear that I really want. I have this dye
Mm.
I4 mask. It's the 2009 special edition. It's not that old, but that's just what it's based off of. I don't know if you can see, but it's like gold and
Yeah, it looks badass,
it's
dude.
white and gold. Yeah, so I like wearing that. And then over here, it's my chest protector. I'm not sure if the camera mirrors it properly or not, or if it's just backwards. But I have
Oh
my
no, it's
North
not
Carolina
backwards.
patch,
Yeah, I can read it normal.
Titan,
Yep.
and then the Lake Norman and Airsoft patch.
Yeah,
The three
Titan, and then
mags, dump patch. Yep, Titan.
okay.
Then
Yeah,
back
that's
here,
nice.
my
Now,
field that I
what's
used
the
to
patch
play
on the
at.
back?
The patch on the back is the field that I used to play at Cedar Creek Airsoft.
Oh, okay.
That's a nice field. It's in Moxville, North Carolina.
Ah.
Just a little bit too far away from me. It's like 55 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And then I have these nice elastic mag pouches that I use for like speed
Mm-hmm.
stuff because it's just a lot easier to grab it from the back. But if I'm trying to carry more, then I'll put some in the front.
That looks awesome.
So that's pretty much
So
what
you
I
got
use. I just use
your rifle,
this gun,
you got your
my
chest
map,
rig, you got
and
your plate carrier, and you've got your mask. That's all you need, man.
yeah, I actually bought I think the elastic mag pouches were like $15,
Mm-hmm.
and then the plate carrier itself was around 100. And then on Evike, you can actually get these like dummy foam plates, and I
Oh
got
yeah.
those, and they're actually really nice.
Yeah.
They're not super breathable like the hexagon plates that maybe like Novrich has in his plate carrier,
Yeah.
but they fill it out a lot better
Mm-hmm.
and make it look more solid
Yeah,
and also
looks more
last
solid,
longer.
but also another good thing about those is when it's tight like that, you can grab your stuff off of your plate carrier.
Oh yeah,
Like your mags or whatever. It's not going to flop around because I know you can make them kind of tight, but when they have that extra padding in there from the plates or the extra thickness, it does make it sturdier, so you can grab stuff off of it easier. Yeah.
definitely.
Hell yeah.
So that's pretty much what my airsoft goals per se for 2024 are. I got invited to join the Nashville Coyotes Speed QB team.
What?
They're actually pretty popular and they won a decent amount of East Coast things. And I have a Speedsoft International Discord server, and it's just for like Speedsofters from like all over the world. I got people from like the UK, Denmark, people
Okay.
from all over the US in
Yeah.
there, and I have the leader in my in that Discord. He helps people with like gear and other things. But the
Right.
thing is, it's just too far for me to drive once a month to
Where's
do a
it at?
tournament. Nashville. It's in the
Oh,
Nashville
yeah.
indoor field. So
Is it at Nashville Airsoft or at?
yes, it's at
Okay.
Nashville Airsoft.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I've talked to some people that work over there
Oh,
actually,
that's pretty cool.
and then there's a whole team I've talked with, Praetorians, and then call sign Houdini is he builds high kappas and he goes to Nashville
Oh
Airsoft.
wow.
He's on team HSA, and yeah, so definitely I've had a lot of people on from that area in Nashville and Knoxville area. Yeah, that's a far drive
That's
though,
cool. It really
because
is.
Knoxville is only
And
like a couple hours, 3 hours from me, but Nashville is I think 5.5 or something.
oh wow, yeah.
Hmm.
And right now I do taekwondo, and so I
Ah,
actually compete for like state champ I'm not a black belt yet, but I will be this October. And so
Nice.
right now I compete in like the color belt division for
Yeah.
15 to 17 boys. And actually, the 30th over Easter of March, actually, I'm going to Dallas by myself to compete in national competition.
What?
So
Dude,
I'm not
that's
sure if I'm going to
crazy.
do that next year or not, but I've gone to like all sorts of places. I've gone to Indiana, Florida, Tennessee, Fayetteville, Myrtle Beach, Pennsylvania, although my grandparents live in Pennsylvania, so we're
Okay.
used to driving that far.
Oh, that's cool,
But
man.
Pennsylvania for nationals in October, so that's pretty cool.
Very cool. So you traveled all this for Taekwondo.
Yes, to compete in
Awesome.
like either sparring or
Mm-hmm.
just different divisions.
Yeah.
And if I don't do that next year, I don't know if I'm going to do it next year. I might actually consider joining the national team
Mm.
and or even starting my own Speed Expo League team, which is SXL, and they do like East Coast games. They have, I think their schedule is one at Nashville Airsoft, Tampa, Indiana, and Missouri. There's 4 games total.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've heard of
So
the SXL. Uh-huh. Because
yes.
you have the NXL. Because I follow all the big paintball channels on Instagram
Mm,
and YouTube as well. You know, I started out as paintball, and I've had a lot of paintballers on here. And that's I know we're called Trifecta Airsoft, but as far as the podcast goes, man, I have people on here that have never played paintball or airsoft, but they have
that's
something
cool.
to some kind of connection with the paintball or airsoft community. So I'll have them on, and talk about it. So in fact, the one of the podcasts that comes out the end of this coming week, the guy hasn't played either, but he's a woodworker and he makes these really cool dice boxes for D&D. So anyone that
Mm,
plays Dungeons and Dragons, whatever, or any kind of game that uses dice, they he's a woodworker, and these things look beautiful, bro. They are really nice, and the lid's held on with the magnets. And so anyway, I had him on because I was like, dude, there's a lot of people that I talk. A lot of airsofters are D&D players or cosplayers or gamers like
hmm.
board games and card players like Magic or uh, Yu-Gi-Oh, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And he makes all those kind of different boxes for these card games and dice games. So I had him on, but he's
pretty
not an
cool.
airsofter. So,
Yeah.
you know, hell yeah, man. That's cool. So how do you like Taekwondo? Did you start at a young age?
No, I actually, my mom, when I moved here, my neighbor across the street, he was already in Taekwondo, and my mom was really pushing me to start it, but I didn't want to because I don't know, I was 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Didn't really seem interesting to me. And then when my friends moved from California, his younger brother, who I've known from a young age, he actually joined because him and me and my neighbor were really good friends, like the 3 of us.
Yeah.
And I decided, oh, why not? I'll join. And I actually really love it. And I'm assisting teaching the littler kids at the studio, and it's really good. And I've joined their demo team, which is like a performance type thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you got into Taekwondo from learning about it from your neighbor and also your friend's younger brother,
Yes.
and now you're doing tournaments. So when you first started, were you pretty much a natural at it? Like, are you good at like
Um,
figuring out the moves and following the
yes, I
instructions?
mean, I'm pretty good at like memorization, and memorization's part of that.
Right.
And the physical part I had no problem with.
Gotcha.
Um,
What other sports did you play before that?
I've played soccer, I've played football in the neighborhood.
Yep.
I used to play rugby with my friend, well, my neighbor, who was also in Taekwondo because his dad is English and
Yep. They do
he
rugby.
likes rugby.
Yep.
So that was an interesting sport. I quit after I almost broke my wrist, but evidently that's like nothing in rugby. So
Oh, sure, man. Rugby's a rough sport. Yep.
definitely.
hmm Those guys that play
And so
rugby, like in college and stuff, uh, when you see them playing and you see these athletes, they do not skip leg day, bro.
no, they
Their
do not.
quads are massive.
Yes, because half the sport is just like walking with like a ton of people trying to pile on top of you.
Pile on you, and they're all just pushing each other. What do they call it? The
Yeah.
scrum or something? Where they're pushing each other back and forth. Yep.
So most of the time, I really just played soccer.
Gotcha.
I played soccer from when I was around 6 years old to before I left California. So
Okay.
like 6 to 11. I played for like 5 years.
hmm
And so, and then I did, oh, I also did swimming. I've done a swimming league every
Ah,
summer since I was under the age of 6.
nice.
So for about 10 years.
Perfect, man.
I'm not like super good at it by any means, but I just consistently do that. And
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, you know how to swim really well then. That's good. It's really good to know, man. I met somebody the other day that's probably, I forget how old he is. He's in his mid 30s, and he doesn't know how to swim.
hmm,
And it's so odd to me to find an adult that doesn't know how to swim, um, because I'm like, man, like they never had an opportunity. They never had parents that taught them. Like I don't, I thought it was really
right, yeah.
important for our kids to learn how to swim because if you go somewhere, what if you fall in? I mean, what the hell are you gonna do? Like the water. If you don't know how to swim and you just sink, the water could really be like 5 feet, and you're only 3 foot tall, and you're gonna drown. Like that's
Yes.
sound. I'm like, no, I would really be mad at myself as a dad if I didn't teach my kids how to swim. Like it'd be terrible.
And part of when people say they don't know how to swim, most of the time they just don't know how to swim efficiently. Like they
Yeah,
can get to the top of the water, but it might take all their energy.
all their energy,
And
and
then,
they burn out.
whereas people who know how to like tread water, back float to like recuperate your energy, that is really the people who like really know how to swim.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if you fall off a boat and are just floating in the lake and you panic and you just try and tread water and but don't really know how, you're going to waste all your energy and eventually you'll drown because you just won't have any energy to keep yourself afloat. So
exactly.
definitely is definitely is an important skill to learn, especially if you live anywhere like near the coast or
hmm Or anywhere hot where
next
everyone
to a
has
lake.
pools, you know,
True, yes.
for real. Like most people have pools down here in South Carolina, even if it's just the above grounds. A lot of people have the above ground pools
Hmm.
and decks built around them and stuff like that. But most rednecks know how to swim, because they were pushed in the water when they were a little kid.
Like a bird. I have some friends who have experienced that. Their parents are like, you learn like a bird and just push them in the
That's
water.
it.
And then if they're about
Yeah.
to drown, you go save them. But
Right.
so well, that's a cool mug. Trifecta airsoft mug.
Thanks,
That's
brother. Yeah, I got
pretty cool.
this on this side.
Oh wow.
I think I'm going to do a new giveaway for people that buy the stickers. So I'll put out an
Yeah,
announcement for that
definitely.
here soon.
Even
And
if you don't do that, I'll definitely have to buy one of the stickers. A lot of popular things with airsoft is they have pelican cases, and
oh
people
yeah,
cover it with like the die mask sticker, their GoPro sticker,
yeah,
and most fields don't sell stickers, but the fields that do or the companies that do, they definitely get the revenue from that. So
yeah, yeah. I think it'll be cool, man. I would like to see
definitely,
the because I wanted to create a different logo and a different look for like separate for the podcast because we have, like I said, this is the original logo, and then I never really made one for the podcast. I was like, I tried making one a year and a half ago, and I just didn't like it that well, to be honest.
mm,
It was okay, but it was basic, and I wanted to come up with something a little, I don't know, more eye-catching. So anyway, Hell yeah, dude.
The way I found out about your podcast is like the weirdest way possible. One night, I think it was mid 2020, maybe 2021, I was just asking Alexa in my room, just like play Airsoft podcast.
No way.
And your podcast came up.
What?
And yeah, it was the first one. He said playing Trifecta Airsoft podcast, and I listened to it on and off for about a year. Then when I started Airsoft a little bit more, I I just started listening to it more regularly,
Yeah.
and I just heard all sorts of cool stories and just learned all sorts of like news in the airsoft community, and also just heard about all types of events and guns and things, and that was super cool. I thought
Awesome,
it
dude.
was unique.
What?
It's pretty unique.
That is awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad you told me that. That's really cool because I didn't even know
Yeah.
we were through the Alexa thing. Like it shows up, but when I'm
How
looking
long have
at
you been on Audible?
that's pretty recent.
Pretty recent? Okay,
Yeah.
so it can't be through Audible then, but
Well, I don't know. No, yeah, that's pretty recent. That couldn't have been, 2.5 years ago or whatever. So,
okay, because the
yeah,
Alexa on Amazon is through Audible, so maybe it
right,
was through
right.
Spotify, maybe it was through
Yeah,
iHeartRadio. I know
yep,
Alexa
yep.
combined with that, but I don't know, whatever it was just super cool and super interesting, and
Oh, that's cool, man.
yeah.
Well, I'm so glad you found us, man. I'm so glad you reached out to me.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
been
thank
great.
you.
Yeah, great talking with you, get to know you. Where can people follow your airsoft journey?
So I am thinking about starting a an airsoft YouTube channel, and I'll start that before your upload date, and I'll get
Okay,
those pictures, and I'll start that channel. So
awesome.
maybe
Okay,
even upload my first video before that.
hell yeah. Well, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you, and thanks for reaching out, telling your
Yeah.
story.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate it.
All right, everybody,
Peace.
go follow this guy on Discord, hit him up, and check out our sponsors again: Skirmish and Jackal Tactical, skirmish.net and jacktac.com. Thanks, everybody. See ya.